So, what's been going on? It's been a lot. It's been a lot. So the end of 2021 was really fun for me. The fall was fun. I had a good time with my family. We went to the fair as a family, which was like my first major outing of like going slightly out of town. And I also got to host Thanksgiving, which was nice. And Christmas was nice and cozy. We kept it very quiet. And that's because I did have kind of a breakdown in my body around the holidays. And I honestly do not know what to attribute it to. This month, it's January. I am 10 months post-op from the Chiari decompression, and I am 7 months post-op from my last spinal fusion surgery. Of course, in between this time, I did have another minor surgery, which was vascular surgery, where they had to go down through my neck. They made a small incision in my neck and went down through and retrieved the IVC filter that they had in my chest that was blocking blood clots. I had to keep that in for a while after surgery, and then I got that removed. And then my pulmonologist, I've still been following up with her regularly because she wants to just make sure, sorry, my kids are in the background. She wants to make sure that everything is like clear and that I have no other clots or issues there, anything like that. So since my surgeries, I have been doing pretty well. The first few months were very painful, and there was a lot of just getting used to my body with this new hardware, but I didn't know how I would feel once I was out of the brace. So the first few months I was wearing the brace consistently, and it really helped me a lot just to stabilize myself, and I was doing rather well in the recovery progress. I was feeling good, and not completely like back to normal, but a lot of my symptoms started to dissipate and I was feeling better. When it got around to month 4, I started to wean myself off the brace, which I was supposed to do per instructions from my doctor. And in months 5 and 6, I got into starting physical therapy. So I was still wearing the brace when I came back home to my family, but integrating myself back into family life was very difficult because I didn't know how difficult it would be to take care of everything around the house and my kids with the health challenges that I was having. With coming back home and trying to start taking on doing my regular routine, it has proven to be very difficult and a challenge for me. And I've had to ask for help a lot because there's just a lot around here to do, and there's some days I just cannot do it. I really have still not been able to cook as much as I would like to. I cook probably twice a week, if I can. I hate the fact that I can't cook as much because that means we're not getting home cooked meals all the time, which I like to prepare for my family and for myself. So we're eating, out or store-bought foods. So with trying to do like normal stuff that I would normally do as far as cooking, cleaning, all those things, it was just very, very difficult for me to do. Um, and it still is. So I started physical therapy. Did I start? I think the end of November of 2021, I started physical therapy, and I did it all through December. And once I started doing it, it's like I started crashing all over again. Like my body was just crashing, and walking was becoming more difficult. Because I had only experienced one crash since my surgery. And before the surgeries, I was crashing pretty much all the time. And after the surgeries, I was doing better, but I did know that I needed to really slow myself down. But it's almost impossible with the family life that I have when you have two toddlers, a preteen, and a teenager. It's like impossible to just not do anything. Like it's impossible to do that. And that's almost what you have to do when you're recovering. You have to kind of focus on your recovery and the therapies you're supposed to be doing, whatever. But on top of that, I have all these other things that I need to focus on. So it's just been very, very challenging to figure that out. Like, because the people in my life that are helping me, they have their own lives. They have things that they have to do. So it's not like I can have someone here every day helping me, which I really do need. Like, I feel like I need a personal person to just come over and like help me every day, because doing all the things that I do, it's just super exhausting, and it just takes all of my strength. So in December, I just started to notice I was going down, 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 down very fast. I started noticing it really in November. And I thought physical therapy would maybe help so that I could, strengthen my muscles and do all those types of things. But once I started doing physical therapy, honestly, things became worse. So I did contact my neurosurgeon because I was due for my follow-up appointment with him. And he couldn't see me till after the new year. So I didn't actually talk to him until January 3rd. And in talking to him, he told me his ideas of what he thinks is going on. But I was trying to tell him, like, just cognitively and like all the fatigue I'm having, the brain fog that I'm having. And once I get to a certain point of being tired, it's hard for me to talk and to get my words together. And I kind of try to overcompensate so I won't sound, completely weird or anything. But it is hard for me to, focus a lot on what I'm saying. And I do lose my train of thought a lot. It just happens. So having that go on is, it just is what it is. When that starts to happen, I know that I just need to stop and I need to rest myself. And so that's what I've been doing, is just trying to listen to my body and all of those things. I'm not in as much pain anymore. I do feel like you go through a phase where you kind of are out of pain. Now, I still have not had like a pain-free day, but I have experienced days where there's not too much pain going on. So that's been really good, is to not be in so much pain all the time anymore. So I'm enjoying that, and I can move a little bit more. I still appear to be very stiff, especially upper. Of course, I will not be able to move my neck the same way ever again because it is fused. So it's pretty much a built-in neck brace. It's like locked into place. But the muscles around it are very, very tight, and like it just feels, everything back there just feels like feels like that. So sometimes that's frustrating, and I do feel very uncoordinated and weird because it's hard for me to move my body, and I have to find different ways to do a lot of the simple things I used to just be able to do, like nodding my head yes, no, can't do that. My swallowing is different, so I have to be careful when I'm eating. My eating is also different. If something's not actually held up to my mouth to go straight in, like I can't, it's hard. Like you tilt your neck down and do different maneuvers with your head when you're actually eating. And when you can't do those things, you have to kind of adjust the way that you eat, the way that you drink. The way that I do my makeup is different. Showering is different because I can't look down and look in my armpit or see, you know what I mean? So I do have to use mirrors and things like that when I'm doing my makeup, handheld mirrors and things like that, so that I can actually see what I'm doing. And when I'm showering, I have to use those things. And bending over, everything, every aspect of my life feels different. I don't really drive. I do drive short distances if it's like down the street, or if it's like 10, 15 minutes away. I can make it there as long as everything is kind of a straight shot and I don't really have to look around. But I don't really drive much if I don't know where I'm going or it's too far, because I have not built up the capacity to be able to drive that far. And I don't know how driving's going to go for me in the future, because I'm very uneasy because I can't see. I do have a swivel chair so I can actually turn my whole body around and look, but even with that, it's very difficult for me because I can't rotate all the way in some instances, because my neck doesn't move at all. Like it doesn't give at all. So even when I try to turn and try to look and try to maneuver myself to look, I get very dizzy. So I have to be careful with that. So a lot of things in my life have changed. And while I did come through the surgeries and I'm alive and all of those things, everything is not normal. So when people, you know, look at me and they're like, oh, you're better now. And yeah, and I am better to a certain extent, but there are still things that are going on, if that makes sense. So I'm not like 100%. I don't know if I will ever be. I'm praying that I get to a higher level of functioning. That's my only prayer. I really, you know, feel that God has done a lot for me in the healing process. And the fact that I'm even alive is a miracle, and that I can function this much, to me, is a miracle, because I came through so much. So the fact that I'm here and doing what I'm doing, yeah, I feel like that's enough miracle for me. Of course, there are things in my life that are still very challenging. Like I still experience a lot of tremors, and I still have a lot of neurological issues. My left side is still very weak. I still am having a lot of problems, but you know, I know that over time things will get better. a lot of people are telling me, oh, it's still early in your recovery process. Like, you've had brain surgery and like 2 surgeries on your spine, so you can't just expect things just to snap back, to normal. And so I have to have keep healthy expectations for myself. And so I'm trying to do that. And then I have to understand everyone's body is not the same, even though it may have taken somebody a year. It may take me 2 years. You know what I'm saying? It may take me longer. It's like, I don't know. So I'm just not judging my process. I just have to relax in it and let things be what they are and be okay with where I am. And I am, because like I said, I feel like God has really helped me a lot and done so much healing in me. And the process that I'm in now is helping me see things that are still in me that I need to work on. And that's hard because we want to feel, like we've made it somewhere, but God knocks you down a peg or two and is like, hey, there's still something there that you need to get right. So I know that there are still quite a few areas that I need to work on as far as myself. Yeah, but I'm starting to get tired now. So I'm going to end this update. But if you're considering getting this surgery, definitely think about it. See if there are alternative things you can try. Of course, I was at the point where I had kind of tried everything. So this surgery was kind of the last resort or last thing that I could do to help myself feel better. But I would definitely advise you, if you can do some type of conservative treatment, try that before you go for the surgery, because it is life-changing, life-altering. And definitely don't go into the surgery expecting for everything to disappear like as soon as you get the surgery. Or there will be some improvements, but it's a process. The healing process is a process. So you definitely have to have realistic expectations when it comes to your healing journey. Give yourself grace and take it one day at a time. And don't try to get back to yourself too fast. Because what I've learned is like, I'll never be that same person that I was prior to surgery. I'll always be different, so I just have to find what that looks like for me, or what the different me is, I guess I can say. But yeah, so I'm continuing on my healing journey to finding the new me.